Good morning and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The first thing I'd like to say is that I couldn't feel more privileged to be introduced by such a great group of managers. I think Susan has worked extremely hard to make this event a success. I'm excited to see all of you here, and I just want to personally thank her for her hard work setting up this event before I get started. Thank you very, very much for making the trip to Minnesota for our 5th annual Works. It's very humbling to see so many people gathered here for this event. I remember 5 years ago when we had it for the first time, there were maybe 20 people packed into a room, maybe 1/5 this size, and it's just been very exciting to see the event grow. And I hope you get everything that you're looking for out of it this week. The event means more and more to me each year because as TempWorks grow and as your businesses grow, it becomes a little bit more difficult for us to continue to foster the personal relationship that was there at the beginning of our business relationships. I'm very flattered by the community of staffing professionals that we have gathered here today. You guys represent the fastest growing, most technology forward, most respectable companies in our industry. And empowering you to stay on the cutting edge is what our passion is at TempWorks. So, honoring the tagline of the 5th Works to take our partnership to the next level, I want to take some time to show you what we've done over the last year to improve our company, our product, to improve your company, and to explore some of the challenges that TempWorks has faced along the way. I spent the last year focusing on what we have come to call quality over quantity. As our company grew, added customers, product lines, entered new markets, I felt that we risked sacrificing our mission of service to our customers by focusing on growth at all costs. To address this concern, I asked a couple of customers at dinner a couple years ago, customers I felt were operating at particularly peak performance, what they were doing that was making a difference for them. I'm talking the organizations that are adding dozens of users in a year, who are on the Inc. 5000, successful businesses that I wanted to use as role models. One of them in particular told me, we were doing a lot of stuff. So we took a look, we found out what we did best, and we decided to do nothing else. So in that vein, I took a step back. I looked at TempWorks and realized that with a simple decision of focus, I can empower our customers and our employees in a way that we weren't previously able to. I made some hard decisions to streamline the business and focus on the product lines that gave you the greatest value. We stopped selling our software to organizations that didn't mirror the values that I want our company to represent. We even terminated a few customer relationships because the management at those organizations didn't treat my employees the way that I wanted them to be treated. I think that sacrificing short-term profit in exchange for the long-term development and empowerment of your employees and your other customers is a very important value. When it comes to the people that work at TempWorks, I want them to say, when they go home, they speak to their spouse, their partner, their children, I have the best job in the world. The results of this change in focus have been tremendous. The project has made the last year by far the most personally enjoyable for me in the 8 years that I've been the president of this company. Greg, my father and our founder, for those of you who know him, is an intellectual giant. He knew how to write software well, and he knew how to hire people who could do the same. His ability to build systems that saw beyond what his prospects wanted in the here and now and instead focus on what he knew they were going to need in 5 or 10 years is very special. It made having the best product in our marketplace an afterthought for us. But having the best staffing software and having the best staffing software company are two different things. Think about it. You all know well that when you invest in a company like ours, that relationship takes a minimum of 8 years in order for you to realize return on that investment. So I feel that you have a right to know what we've been doing during that time that makes us excellent in our marketplace. It's certainly our aspiration that you be excellent in your marketplaces. The largest projects our company is currently working on are enterprise implementations for two small organizations you might have heard of, TrueBlue and Manpower. Both businesses that would run our products represent easily over $500 million of annual revenue and hundreds of users. Casey Krause and his team sold these projects, and Taylor Lucan implemented them. We're talking about dozens of weeks of travel, all-day demos, tough negotiations, the whole works. Between all that, Casey found the time to fly to England 4 times and close over 15 customers there in the last year. Most of you purchased your software from Casey or somebody that he hired, trained, and supervised. Taylor Lucan's team did the implementations for almost every company represented in the room today. These teams might have made you feel special with the amount of time they were willing to devote to your relationship at the very beginning, but this is actually the same level of dedication that they give to everyone who has the privilege of working with them. Now, you might ask what preparations we're making to handle business in these increased amounts. Many of you have been customers since 2011 and 2012, as our country came out of a deep recession, released pent-up demand for staffing technology products, and caused TempWorks to grow rapidly from 50 employees to 90. At that time, we had hired a direct placement agency to help us recruit support staff. But at the same time, we did not properly prepare our company culture or our training programs accordingly. Our turnover was high. I felt that our service quality at the time had suffered. Nevertheless, one of the great blessings of being a CEO is being able to learn from your mistakes and to change course accordingly. TempWorks' new generation of growth will be handled differently because our management team has made the people who work here, their happiness and their fulfillment, the most important thing on our agenda. I've watched our operations management team work tirelessly over the last 2 years to make sure that we have the best workplace in our industry. We've strengthened almost every aspect of our employee experience, from training, development, advancement opportunities, right down to the types of out-of-office social functions we host. As our company grows and ages, so does our workforce. So we've made a point of improving our retirement and health insurance benefit packages. Nevertheless, our entry-level positions typically appeal to young graduates. And I felt it was very important for us to turn what at one time was a disciplinary process into a process of constant positive feedback so that everyone who comes to work for us as a fresh graduate, whether they're right out of high school, right out of college, whenever we meet them when they're young, that we're doing everything we can for them to build them to their full potential, whether they choose to stay at TempWorks for the rest of their careers or whether they choose to move on. Let me tell you about the results. I think this is especially important because we have a few prospects in the room today, and it's important that they leave this event knowing what I feel differentiates us from our competition. In the last 18 months alone, we've had 4 employees that started their career at TempWorks and move on, asked to come back, including our Vice President of Development Operations, Ali Virani. If you wonder how making human capital the most important part of your software company translates into functionality and a great experience for your users, attend Mari and Sean's presentation on our commissions module. Commissions module was born of many support calls and many difficult implementations and issues surrounding building commission reports so that you can compensate your sales reps. Ali fixed that problem for us, and I think that he did it brilliantly. Unfortunately, he is at True Blue this week for their live week, and he's unable to show off his accomplishments himself. Nevertheless, I feel that you should attend, and that his dedication to that project will come through despite his absence. And while our average overall employee tenure has increased as a result of these efforts, our greatest accomplishment with this regard comes from our support desk. What this means to you and to your staff is that when you call into our tech support, the person on the other end of the phone helping you has worked in their position for an average of 2.5 years. That's more than double what I could have boasted of 2 years ago, and it's about 5 times what our closest competition is able to advertise. Our employee retention project culminated this year with being named one of the Twin Cities' best places to work by the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. This award was based solely on employees' confidential responses to a workplace survey, and that makes it, for me, a bigger source of distinction than other corporate awards that so commonly get thrown around our marketplace. While the award might look nice on the wall in our lobby, the reason we earned it should benefit you even more. This change in culture will allow long-term partners to prosper without fear that our drive for new business will divert our best and brightest resources to the newest accounts coming to TempWorks. These folks turned in incredible results this year. We had 121 customers go live on HR Center this year alone. There are 41 of you in the room today, 3 times that many HR Center implementations. Between January and March, we printed over 700,000 W-2s and 220,000 1095 documents. Compared to past years, I've noticed an impressive improvement in customer satisfaction. Our attrition is at its lowest rate since I took my position in 2008. Without Kevin Prow, Susan Wurst, Alicia Santurgeon, and Melanie Kramer, I wouldn't be able to make any of these statements. More importantly, their success allows me to do what I enjoy most in my career, which is every other week flying around the country to a different place and visiting the TempWorks customers in that area so that I can learn what we can do better. Despite these successes, all hasn't been perfect. All businesses have their warts. If we didn't, anyone could do our jobs. A year ago, we faced the challenge of a former funding customer who, despite our best efforts, fell short of the acceptable risk level that we're willing to bring into our organization. Despite apologizing to that person that we weren't able to do more to help him, he took it upon himself to launch a social media campaign called BewareOfTempWorks.com. So while attendees of the works typically represent the most loyal segment of our customer base, it's still important for me to let you know that the gentleman operating these sites is not your peer. If you look to your left and to your right, you're looking at someone who's involved in one of the country's most successful staffing companies. This site is run by someone who has not worked in staffing for 5 years, has nothing but time in his hands, and I've chosen not to publicly engage with him. On the other hand, I am proud to engage with all of you, and there's a reason why. Your success makes us look good. It is the most powerful piece of marketing material available to our company, is you guys doing well. Last year, 15 TempWorks customers made the Inc. 5000. In the last 2 years, 2 of our customers have gone public. One of them is actually represented in the room today. The Staffing Industry Analysts list of largest staffing companies in the United States is peppered with the names of TempWorks partners. Our funding clients, who for the first time are joining us in a large number this year, grew at an average pace of 32% last year. The staffing industry grew at 8%. It means as a TempWorks funding client, you grow 4 times faster than the industry average. And it comes back to one of the most important lessons my father taught me. He said that if you want to make money, find a way to help other people make money. I like to think that the team that introduced themselves this morning has done a wonderful job of living out that value. The thesis of our next year's activity is for our customers to knock it out of the park. It's why we're showing up to work every day. Paul and Kevin will continue leading the effort to successfully migrate enterprise front office into a browser. The developers will be giving you a sneak peek of that later today. Casey Krause and Chris Haig, our Managing Director, United Kingdom, will continue the mission they started over a year ago of bringing our products into the European market, but more importantly for you, bringing their ideas back into our US technology product. My management team will continue to ensure that the people you interact with on a daily basis will be well-trained, well-developed, and happy employees. I, for my part, will continue what I've been doing for the last year. I will focus on my employees, our customers, and our product with faith that by concentrating on those 3 things, the rest will take care of itself. So in closing, please enjoy your week in Minnesota, learn about TempWorks, meet and learn about each other, and have a little bit of fun while you're doing it. Thank you very much.